Because parliament, by its nature, you are leading people who are almost independent of each other, and they are going to take contradictory decisions all the time. We opposed the deployment of Ugandan soldiers in South Sudan. When the motion came, the Honorable Gilbert was a second. At that time, I think I was a whip of FDC. I was very bitter. He had defied me. I nearly removed him from a committee.
You had the powers.
You can be defied even by your own MPs. You've seen NRM MPs defying NRM, and they are called the rebel MPs. MPs are not simple people. When General Mount walked to me proposing to appoint me chief opposition whip, I declined. I told him MPs have no discipline. I'm not going to be their supervisor. And he told me, Semujju, we are training you to be a leader and you will not choose how. Okay, I said, okay, now I surrender. But I had declined. Because we pursue different things. So you can have MPs from your own party defying you. You can also have MPs from other parties defying you.
How ordinarily do you reach a position of boycott?
No, I don't want to lose the background before I come to answer that. First, there is no party in the parliament called opposition. There is a constitutional group called the party in opposition, and that is no at the moment. The rest of the colleagues, you can work with them when they won. As chief opposition whip, one time I was reading names of opposition MPs to committees. When it came to UPC, NRM was reading UPC, I was reading UPC. So some UPC went to sit with NRM, some UPC sat with us. And
now someone is a minister, come to, I need an office.
So when, when I inquired the Honorable Lady Olanya said that matter can be only be resolved by court. So you will have that in Parliament, but also it is possible that on some matters you will agree, and on some matters you may disagree. It's also normal that you may have colleagues attending Parliament when there is a boycott.
Yeah, but here they are disagreeing from the onset.
Even in boycotts that we have sat down and agreed, in the past you have had some colleagues attending. So for me it is normal. It is normal. And the Honorable Mwiru has told you, the agreement was that everybody exercises his own right.
Do you find that normal? I thought there is always cohesion, you arrive at a position.
Except if you are running a military. But in politics, people will defy you. Opondo, I mean, you had the rebel MPs at one time. The speaker even created a sitting space for them in the middle. They were NRM. And it happens everywhere. Just 2 nights ago, last night, in America, the Republicans were taking a vote on the war powers. And some Republicans voted with the Democrats to stop Trump from launching further attacks in Iran. And they said, it's my conscience, I'm following my conscience. So here, it's normal in politics, and it will happen in every jurisdiction.
But you would imagine that the opposition starts on a united note.
But on the speaker, they were united. They had the Honorable Mwiru.
Even on this one, we are united.
We are united.
Even on this one, we are
so
united.
I really don't see anything big in it that you have. The only problem from what my brother Atana has said, it is a matter that has been troubling us for a very long time as opposition. Every after election, you will have a discussion. Do you participate in the government or you don't? If you participate, you are now validating the elections.
Legitimizing.
So legitimizing, you stay away. You will have those voices from our supporters. In one of the meetings we had in FDC, Dr. Wesje said, if we had won, would you have attended? He said, okay, this territory we have won. Please go and defend it as we continue fighting for the others. So legitimate those who have won election, he said you can go and attend Parliament. But the general feeling is that among support that boycott, don't go to Parliament. your going has the effect of legitimizing. At a personal level, I had said I will not go and attend functions where Museveni is because of restrictions. In the past, they used to tell MPs to go and test COVID.
Yeah, we still do.
They would say at one time, you don't carry your phones. I don't know if that has changed.
In Parliament, the three times, twice now I've been there, we have had our phones.
So I had said, and I didn't want to propose it to anyone, that those functions of Museveni, they take you with a bus. There was a time I wanted to leave Kololo, but they said you will go by bus. I had to walk. First of all, he has closed the roads. You can't come with your car. It's as if you are in a military campaign. So I said, no, me as Semujju, I am not attending. But I didn't want to impose it on others who wanted to attend, even when I was a leader. But also...
should positions on something as critical as whether to attend or boycott be made in such a lackluster manner?
A boycott is a form of protest, disapproval. There has never been a protest in Uganda where everybody participates, whether you are on the street, whether you are where. So you, Njala, you want to treat MPs like robots that when they announce going or not going, everybody will abide. It's not possible. I have participated. One time we agreed we are going to meet at a radio grounds. The UPC people are watching us through their window. Yet we were in a meeting with them and said we will be at a radio grounds and then we will march from there. And they, have you arrived? I was there with the best.
Yeah, but during your times, the boycotts were massive. You'd see big numbers staying away.
But he has told you the agreement was those who want to go can go, those who want to stay away can stay away. And I don't see any problem. But you want to make it such a huge problem. That's a decision they took.
Do you see the opposition in sort of a dilemma on whether they need to take firm decisions, especially when it regards meeting the president?
You want a corrective binding decision, but you are different entities. The Honorable Mwiru is a chief opposition whip because of the appointment by his party. By law, he's not the whip of everybody, by law. But by the operations of parliament, he becomes the leader of all. You cannot say that he will caucus and invite everybody and then everybody will have to abide by. Even when you sit in a meeting, I am telling you, even when you sit in a meeting, you will walk out and some MPs are already quarreling with the outcome of a meeting in which they have participated. It is normal in Parliament, even normal outside Parliament.
Well, let's now get to the thrust of our discussion. How would you unpack the President's State of the Nation address? I'll start with you.
Maybe before, I wanted to correct the notion. You have put the narrative to say as if there was a disagreement. I want for the record to say that there was no disagreement. The agreement was that, okay, it is optional. And for you to say that actually, you see, you can't dismiss it because...
Optional cannot be a decision.
We are now discussing it here. You understand? That means it's not a simple thing. Then to my brother, Honorable O.O., the Presidential Elections Act creates a duty on the Electoral Commission to gazette results for every polling station in the country. You don't just announce a block figure and then that's the end. They did not do that. We have been demanding for that because we have data forms from some other areas. We want to know how did they arrive at the 71-1. For instance, I'll give an example. There's the politics, as Honorable Semujju has said. There are whips of other political parties. When Honorable Mao was appointed minister and Honorable Santa Room, the members of whips had become and told me, don't give them office. They have now in the government, them got get office from NRM. But I knew that was a simple thing which would cause a problem. I said, they are members of parliament. I'm going to use my powers as a whip to allocate them their constituency offices. If they are tomorrow discarded by then, they'll go back to their office. But just imagine if because I picked that small thing and put it at the center. Even now, as we talk now, I can comfortably talk to all the whips of other political parties because there was a position. That's why we have no issue with the Honorable Attorney. I don't want to delve into the other arguments he has advanced, but I want to conclude by saying that the only two powers, the state power and the people power. I've been telling my members of the opposition that the state does not need you. You understand? They have the numbers. So it is you to determine how you want to actually move. I thank you.
So let's unpack the president's
speech.
Which you never
Yes,
attended.
but I was following very keenly for reasons that we have to make a response to it. I don't attend, but even other areas like, I don't know the Ofwono Opondo was even fearing Ebola. But for purposes of I listened to the president, and to me, I saw two things in his speech. The first one was trying to create a narrative that created an enabling environment for everybody. That was the starting point. The second issue I saw, the president was trying to localize his vision, to move from him, because all along it has been about him, that this country was about President Museveni. That even when Honorable Ofwono Opondo does something, we will have to thank the president for having done something. The president made some admissions when he said, no more sleep, means they have been sleeping on the job. No more corruption. I'm going to unpack the corruption. I'm 82 years old. Of course, he was seeing the remaining gap that actually all leaders now must have a role to play. When I talk about localizing his vision, because before everything has been about him, because I'd killed all the institutions, that now the corruption they talk about, they have been inflating the budget. And say we are passing a budget of 75 trillion. They are looking for one thing, spending 3% without parliamentary approval. But with the budget of 75 trillion or 80 trillion perform, the answer is no. And by the time they return, they will tell you we ran a cash budget. We did not realize 10 trillion when they've already got the 3%. So when he talks about the corruption, it starts with budget corruption. If you unpack classified, that's why they say for them they are not thieves. Because for them they are stealing from that classified aspect.
Okay. You've listened to the president over the years. Yes. This is his 40th State of the Nation address.
Yes.
41st actually.
Constitution.
The State of the Nation address began after the 1995 Constitution. So it can't be. However, he has been giving annual addresses to Parliament. Yes.
Is there a departure from the old now to the new Museveni?
The departure is in respect of now trying to localize his vision. That's no longer now about him. It's even Ofwono Opondo is involved. Because all along it has been him, and him. Now he's saying, look, I want Ofwono Opondo to go to his constituency. I want Atan to go to his constituency. I want Mwiru to go to his constituency. But what we need now to discuss as MPs, does Ofwono Opondo has a budget to do that? Does he have the CDF, the Constituent Development Fund, to go and do exactly what he's saying? Because the disorientation of the politics, which President Museveni has been doing, it has been the transactional politics. He has been engaging in with MPs. The other time you saw him in Chankwanzi, saying, I've given you 100 million. You understand that? Ofwono we were in Kololo with him. Well, I would have got more votes than the 60. But people are saying, but you know, they have told us they're going to give us the 30 after the voting. So the 30 itself causes the problem, because now we are in transactional politics. That has not stopped only with the leaders.
That was given before the voting.
No, that had been promised. I think he'll tell you at what point he received.
No, initially.
At what point he received.
The first batch was?
It was 100.
The first batch
after
20.
Chankwanzi 20 to prepare for swearing in.
Now the 30
now because you have election of a speaker,
they get
another facilitation of
30 years now.
I think he's going to give it to them in installments.
Whenever something corrupts up.
This is a bonanza.
But Simon, didn't you see me very smart? At the swearing in? Did you see me very smart?
So that was part of the facilitation.
The president said he was giving us for Kwenabak. Yeah, and he did. I was. He didn't say it off camera. He said it on camera. So I can't edit what he said.
So as I conclude, the transactional politics around the president He now is sending OO to his constituency, but OO is going without money. What has been done in other areas? But for members of parliament, for instance, they have created the consignment fund, like in Kenya. That because at the end of the day, the budget process is simple. They issue a first call circular, and they send it to the technical people in the district. They have parish meeting to know the needs of an area. We make a budget. Then the budget is passed. The municipal process statement always has unfunded priorities. But it's telling to go to the people, and then people say, now we need a borehole, we need this, we need the other. But at the end of the day, even when you talk to the public, they will say, now we have listened to what you have said. Now you go to the real issue. The real issue is that now every leader must engage into the politics of economic foolery, of getting the money and then giving to them for something. Because the job of an MP, for instance, has no tangible performance indicators.
Thank you. I'll certainly get back to you. Honorable Tan, to what extent did the president set the tone of where he wants to take the country in the first year of his 7th term?
First, I want to put out my understanding of the State of the Nation address. In my view, the State of the Nation address and the budget are interlinked. The President last addressed the nation on the 5th of June 2025, and he gave a State of Nation address preceding the last year's budget. And the President makes this State of Nation address, and resources follow the proposed program and plan of government. Where we are returning to Kololo on the 11th to have his budget read to us, which the outgoing parliament already concluded on. Now, a State of Nation address, I want to help a viewer to appreciate that it's annually. And I seen a member of parliament saying it is said twice in 5 years, it's annually. But what is said annually, in my view, should be giving us 3 clear parameters. One, where were we on the 5th June 2025? And then that program that has run for 365 days, funded, resources provided in the budget that is going to end, what has been its impact? Then, after we get to appreciate that, tell us the program that we will do oversight on vis-a-vis the resources you took. Because if I am given liters of fuel to drive from Soroti East to Kampala, and I consume the liters of fuel, but I can't account for my journey of Soroti to Kampala or Kampala to Soroti East, there is something I'm not giving to the duty holders, the duty bearers. We are duty bound as leaders to give to the nation, the ones we serve, what exactly we are doing for them every year.
So was the president's address accounting?
One, I listened to the president, and I am glad that I attended. There was a lot of baseline information from the 60s, the 70s, and I was waiting to hear what happened to the program in the last year's State of Nation address. It didn't come out clearly. I was waiting to appreciate the commitments he gave, because in the State of the Nation address, you're giving commitments. For instance, if I pick an example from Teso sub-region, there's this road of Katine to Ochero. There are many infrastructure commitments. There are also bills, but the way all went silent, I appreciate the need of us going commercial agriculture, the commitment of resources being available. But how much has been accessed?
Yeah, but can you imagine if the president tackled every aspect of the nation, how long it would take him to address? It would take hours.
Then why would you address us on the history of 1967, 1970, the model farmer, Magaga, if I remember right, the mother and the late father to Fande Kavuma were brought in, which was a good. The mode of delivering this state of nation.
There's another one who rears sheep.
Pardon?
There is another one who was also brought in, who rears sheep.
Yes. The mode of delivering this state of the nation with the video footages, the clips, fantastic. But my concern was, how does it relate to the appropriated resource envelope of the budget that is ending and the program you laid before the country in June 2025? That did not come out clearly. Neither will it come in the budget, because it should have been here. My understanding of the State of the Nation address, which we are going to debate under the rules of procedure, the Speaker and the Business Committee will schedule when we shall debate it. But I strongly feel, and I want to appeal to the head of state and the technical people, they should give the country a feel of what we have been able to do, because government is running on a budget annually. And maybe to tell us exactly, if you have a program, you have been appropriated the resources, what have you been able to achieve and what is spending?
Thank you. What are your takeaways, and what do you make of the same fashion in which the president delivers the State of the Nation address?
I want to say the president has stayed true to who he is, the teacher, consistent, and using what the ordinary eye, the ordinary person will take, hopefully change the mind, because the president is driving a mindset. That's why he's using those local examples, and he gave examples from across the country, not every part of the country. So the State of the Nation address is really a snapshot of where we are at, what we are doing, where and how we should go forward. The president is doing what we call painstaking teaching of Ugandans, and particularly we now, the leaders in parliament. And I partly agree with the Honorable Mwiru. There has been a thinking among we leaders that leading and changing the country, transforming the country, is the job of the government. And in particular, the ones who are on the steering wheel, the NRM group. The opposition think that it is none of their business. For example, some of them, that when we budget money, although they chair accountability committees, they think it is not their job, for example, to go to my secondary school, my primary school in my village, in my parish, and call the DEO, call the headmaster, or ask the headmaster to convene a meeting of something as basic as management committee of the school, and say, here you receive so much money. Have you constructed the classroom for which you were given money? Instead, you hear us on the radios, on TVs, and on the floor parliament lambasting. But if you ask a number of MPs, which schools, which health facilities did you go to? Ask any of these MPs who say there are no drugs in government health facilities, and ask them which drug in particular is not at your health facility. They'll talk in general terms, and that's why the president was saying, I want you MPs. Because we are facilitated, I think, 4 times a month. We with the new ones, haven't started going, but I'm told we are facilitated 4 times a month, every week. to go to your constituency. When you visit your constituency, do you go as a tourist? Or if you go twice a month, do you go as a tourist? Or you go to engage with the issues affecting your people? So this is where the president is.
When you listen to the president...
Is rallying leaders, particularly we elected leaders, in parliament, in the local council 5, local council 3.
When you listen to the president, he actually described this as Chisanja, no more sleep.
Yes.
And in his submission, in the text that he read to the country, would you imagine he's setting the country on the course of flying or being awake?
He wants you to
fly.
Or
it was just rhetorical.
But if you can't fly, at least walk. Keep your eyes awake. See where the money is. Make correction where there is abuse, where there is wastage. So if you say the state of the nation, the president told you, he gave you a continuum of the last 40 years. There are instances where he made reference to 1995. There are instances in that cattle corridor where he makes the reference to 1990 to 99. And you heard him talk about, for example, milk production, coffee production, beef production. He goes into manufacturing.
Yeah, but I thought essentially a State of the Nation address is to give accountability of what has happened over the year.
If you are simple-minded, you would do it year by year. But the president wants to weave. When he's talking, he's weaving through so that you don't lose where the thread has been needled, where the thread is needling. And there are many of us who think that the president should speak as if somebody who's leading a very developed system or society. The president is leading Uganda as is, so that you don't miss.
So how do you track what he promised last year with what he promises this time?
Like you and me, we read. Before today, did you refresh your mind with the last State of the Nation address? We are now going to read the next budget in a week's time. Are you refreshing your mind? What are those things that were promised, budgeted for in the last budget? And do those things in the budget speak to the National Development Plan 4 and 3? Do they speak to each other? And that's how you can understand and appreciate how the president presents issues to the country. In my view, his approach is a good approach. And where is the evidence? Over the last 40 years, Uganda has moved. In some places, of course, some places where there has been disappointment. The pace has been too slow. In some places, we have actually galloped. In some places, we have galloped.
Yeah, but
how would we account, and the president mentioned this, how do I account for the life expectancy moving from 43 years to 68 years?
How do you
account?
appreciate that to an extent the president was simply performing a ritual?
Even a ritual is good. It reminds you what you shouldn't do and what you should do.
Let's take a break and return with the Honorable Semujju Ibrahim Nganda.
NBS Frontline.
Can I have a light, please? What is this?
Castle light, the best testing light.
Try it.
Try it, try it, try it.
Guys, look at this post.
Nothing hits like extra cold. Toss a light. Try it.
In a fast-moving world, why are we still stuck with paperwork? Signing here, stamping there, moving from office to office. It's exhausting. Now, there's a better way. With UGPass, you can securely prove your identity, sign documents, and access government services anytime, anywhere. No delays, no stress. Everything is instant, safe, secure, and government-backed. UGPass, your identity secured. Available in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. UGPass is a product of Nita Uganda.
Better study tips. Be vigilant. Watch out for unexpected prizes or lottery wins. Genuine contests do not require advance payments or personal information. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Brought to you by, in partnership with, Uganda Communications Commission and NBS.
The National Mosquito Net Distribution Campaign is back. No one should die of malaria in this era. It is your responsibility to chase malaria from your home. The good news is that the government of Uganda has once again started distribution of mosquito nets under the 5th Universal Coverage Campaign, also known as the Under the Net campaign. Under this exercise, 1 mosquito net will be distributed per 2 people in every household. A village health team member, a community health extension worker, also known as a CHU, and the LC1 chairperson will move house to house to register members of the household in preparation for receiving their mosquito nets. Do not lie back. Ensure that you register all your household members to receive a mosquito net. On the distribution date, move to your distribution point and receive your net. Mosquito nets protect you and your family members from infectious mosquito bites that lead to malaria. Ensure that you receive the net, hang the net, and sleep under the net every night.
Why pay for someone else's repairs? Say goodbye to hidden costs and hello to peace of mind of a brand new start. Discover the Suzuki range of unmatched, fuel-efficient, and reliable options. From the iconic Jimny to the new Across Hybrid. Find the perfect blend of style and world-class efficiency. Upgrade today and enjoy 1 year of free fuel and comprehensive insurance, plus 2 years of free service and a 3-year warranty. Trade in your current car or choose financing to start driving as you pay installments. Don't wait. Visit the Suzuki showroom today or call 0800-211-033 to get started.
We understand that everyone yearns for a clean, tidy, and convenient working environment. That's why 7-Star Cleaning Services, we strive to provide highly customizable cleaning solutions using environmentally friendly chemicals, state-of-the-art equipment, and well-trained workforce for our clients. Visit our head office, Plot 4691, Ntinda Chisasi Road. Contact us on our official lines 0393-243-503 or visit our social media platforms. 7-Star Cleaning Services, a remarkable difference.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, endungu ya kusabula. We gonna do free on fire, free on fire, free on fire.
Welcome back. It's the Frontline as we continue unpacking the President's State of the Nation address that kicks off his 7th term as President of the Republic of Uganda. What are the takeaways, Honorable Semujju?
I
Did you listen in the first place? Did you watch?
I watched the State of Nation address. I think it took nearly 2 hours.
With ease or
nearly,
with pain?
about 140, about 1 hour and 40 minutes.
This the Honorable Semujju said at 82. Can't speak for long, can't travel, can't campaign.
The president looked tired. There was no energy in his delivery. And we are nearly approaching the Mangina. If you think I am weak, ask him Mangina. Remember Shinyata in Kenya? People doubted that he still had energy, and he said, go and ask him Mangina.
Mamangina.
Mamangina. I have covered Museveni as a journalist. I have listened to him as an MP. The one speaking in Kolo today looked a photocopy. He's tired. He's tired. Even before you go to, and that should worry everybody. Because
so body language is also something to
not
to
even
note.
body language, the body itself, not the language of the body, but the body. He is telling people to wake up, but he needs a rest. That's what I saw. But after these so many years, Museveni needs a rest. I don't know who will help Museveni against Museveni. He really lacked energy. You saw someone who was struggling, and the one struggling was telling people no sleep. He actually needs to rest. He needs sleep. Because I kept telling people in the area where I've been an MP, the developed countries may run even without a president. And I used to give an example of an aircraft. So when the aircraft is taking off, it's a very serious period. Everybody, the passengers, the pilots, that time everybody is alert because you are taking off. But when you stabilize in the air, all of you have flown. You've seen even pilots coming to say hello to passengers. So we are at a period where you cannot afford to have a tired president steering a country. So that's one thing I noticed. Those who are in Koro, Opondo and Nathan can tell me that maybe what I saw is not what was in Koro. But what I saw on TV was a tired president struggling to be his old self. And then he said, this is a Chisanja for no sleep. At 82, 41 years in power. So at 82 is when you are saying, no sleeping. At 82.
I find it ironical that you didn't focus on the substance. Instead, you're looking at...
That's the substance. That is the substance. Because he said we must put in all our energy. But he has lost his energy. The energy has lost. And that's why you see the Sun occasionally coming to say, the other day I saw Andrew Mwenda, who speaks for the Sun, he says, Works, we are coming. KCC, we are coming. I say, they are coming as who? Maybe for them, they know more than us that the man is now tired. So so the body was not speaking to the content. Someone telling everybody, I am tired, or people who are not working.
I get nauseated.
Yes, that he didn't look like Museveni who was going to do the things he was saying. And then coming to the content of the speech. First,
no, before you even get to the content,
yes.
Do you imagine the president was painfully performing a ritual?
Yes, if he had an option, I think he would. The other day I saw, and it's been in the media, that state functions for which we budgeted for 29 billion, there will be no more ceremonies. The president will be speaking from State House. There are people who are celebrating, but me, I thought maybe because the president is tired. So even coming to functions, he's tired, so he can deliver them. And then the second thing, before I go to the content, Parliament is a very formal institution. Even Ofwono Opondo of Chitengi, he must now buy a suit.
He's now donning Chinese.
And a tie. I think now he's trying to don the tie. And the president has addressed Parliament before, State of Nation address. This one was very casual. He looked like someone who was coming for an evening walk. Casual in the way he dressed, but even casual in the way he was addressing MPs, occasionally saying, you and so, you stand up, are you there? So and so. That never happened in the State of Nation address because there are ethics in Parliament. He looked like someone who had come on an evening walk and casually interacting with MPs who are limited because the setup in Parliament is such that you are formal, even if you want it or not. That's why some names even raise points of orders to chase people who are not dressed as the rules prescribe. And then the content summarized my fear. Lacked direction, because what Ofwono Opondo is saying earlier, you have now the National Development Plan 4, which must align with the Vision 2040. There are programs there. You must have a checklist. You come and say, this is where we are, this is where we are going. Last financial year, that was the target, we have hit it. But the president spent the first 1 hour, and I've told you I watched from the beginning to the end, spent the first 1 hour cataloging the history of Ankole, where they were, because when he said...
And the transformation.
Yeah.
He talked about the transformation.
At that time, I went to Masaka Secondary School in 1992. The whole of from Diantoni to Mbarara was still a park near Congolese. There were no people there. The people that Museveni started transforming in the 60s, 92, they were not there. The transformation of Ankole has happened when Museveni is the president. You can go back to UCB, where this guy from Bunyoro was a manager. Kajura. What did they do? They borrowed the money, put it under any part, they never paid the money. Then went and fenced their farms. The Senyenge was talking about. Partly was money from UCB. You can go back. Go and look at the report of any part. So the transformation, I am telling you, I was in Masaka Secondary, we used to go to Mbarara for seminars. Near Congolese, the whole of that place, animals, which is now Lake Mburu. So that transformation has happened when Wanyankole have access to power and state money. The farms is talking about in Rwachitura. You need to go. I don't want to read the people's names here, they will be angry with me. But each farm has 4 government vehicles. They are the directors. The money they pick here, they just go and fence and buy Senyenga and do farms. It's not the ordinary people that have transformed. These ones who have access. I chaired a committee on Kosasi, and I did a report on human resource.
So you're now fact-checking the president's address?
I am telling you, the obsession with history, first of all, is not factual. It's not factual, because I visited Ankole as a young person, and I have visited Ankole today. It has really transformed because they have had access, consistent access to state resources. When I chaired Kosasi, I did human resource, a report on human resource in public enterprises. The CEOs of all the public, 49% were from West, mainly Ankole. The northern Uganda had 9%, and then a few other areas with nobody. I come from Chazang. Weekend, you will see all government vehicles going there. And then you can take the northern road, or even the eastern.
I think that's a very delicate issue.
It isn't. It has been an issue there. I remember Mukurare is did in one of the meetings, and Museveni said he has assigned in Sibambi to go and find out when the Museveni's performance, either 2011 was poor in some areas, and Mukura said these are the issues in our area. He said, no, this is not true. Then he assigned in Sibambi to go and find out. So the people from his area have and continues to have access to state resources that they are using to invest. Because how can you spend a whole hour and explaining to the country that people who have transformed because they listen to me are people in my area? Even when I went to Gomba, they also transformed. Okay, maybe we should invite him to come and I dig in Mukono to become his neighbor. That where he lives that's where transformation is, and that's now a site of pilgrimage. So the whole country now must go to Ankole and is calling. They are not listening to me. These ones in Ankole listening to me. How? Is he a king in Ankole or is the president of Uganda? 1 hour, a full hour.
But the president...
It's a history of how he has transformed his area, and he says other people are
There
not
are quite a
listening.
number of things perhaps you could have missed. He talked about the standard gauge railway. He talked
I
about
am coming to that. I said the first
the oil
1 hour.
pipeline.
You are taking me at a terrible speed. I said the first 1 hour. First 1 hour. Were you watching?
Yes.
Me, I was watching. The first 1 hour was about how Museveni, Museveni, has transformed the Ankole to where it is. I have told you what has transformed the Ankole. The moment you take away state power, those farms, they are going to close them. I am telling you. This free money they pick and go and throw in their farms and buy cows. There is one who was a military general. 2 of them, one time we did a story in Monta. By the late David Chibirige did a story, one of those generals. Say they used the Nyankole word, the Nyankole were complaining. Msaji agurenti no kuramuja takuramuja. One of those generals went in the market, and the way he was buying cows wasn't even negotiating with trucks and the roads. There is another one recently who went and started a farm of more than 3 billion shilling. And when Museveni asked him, he said he had gotten his money from Chinese, not UPDF money. So those are the prosperous Banyankole people that the president is spending 1 hour to explain how he has transformed them. And not a team in Ankole, but him personally. And then he brings an old woman. Said Museveni when he went to Chishaka, when he went State of Nation address, he's not addressing Ankole Parliamentary Caucus. That speech, the first 1 hour was for Ankole Parliamentary Caucus. Then when he came to the other things, they were neither here nor there. Spoke about agriculture. If you go to, in all the government reports, people who have access to improved seeds are 4%. Irrigation is still at 1%. You still have 65% of the population in agriculture. 39% household, that's about 14 million people. Museveni says they are not in money economy. Every year you give them 1 trillion and you pass a budget of 84. And then you're going to spend the State of Nation address speaking about how you have made the capital available, rural credit, how it is. Where? I told you the last time we were talking about these things. In the report of the Auditor General, after 2 years, people who got money under PDM are supposed to repay after two years. The first 2 trillion is supposed to be brought back and begins to revolve. They have paid less than $1 billion out of 1,000 billion.
Out of a trillion?
Out of a trillion, they have paid only 1 billion. So there is no revolving fund in the parishes. Either you have to continue taking money there. When we are dealing with budget, the budget committee, the concern of all the MPs, those ones who bother, because the majority are just the NRM MPs. But those who bother to understand and read.
Don't bother. They don't understand.
The standards NRM are different. I was in Mwiru's campaign. He said for him, as long as you wake up and vote NRM, those are standards. So really, if your duty is just to vote and you're a voting machine, you need to understand. Those are standards, he said. We were there, we met. For us, we are telling people of Busoga, bring him Mwiru, he's a lawyer, he's experienced, he will be our voice in parliament. He said, for me, bring me one, even if he sleeps, as long as he wakes up to vote. So I refer to NRM in that context of Ofwono. But what was bothering MPs was that when you make money available in the parishes and in the villages, there must be a corresponding growth in tax correction, because you now have money available, so domestic taxes that you collect from consumption must go up. They were going down, instead it is international taxes that we are going high. And then the question was, this money you have distributed and is everywhere. and it must stimulate consumption. And
Yes.
as a result, taxes from consumption must be high. They are not there. So we said, where is the money? So maybe theory, the people are happy that you can line them. This money is not different from the money that is distributed during campaigns. People will eat it, and that's where it will end. It will not boost production.
Well, I'll certainly be coming back to you.
I had just finished the first 1 hour.
Yeah, but do you realize that you've also spoken like
I am
him?
sympathizing with the OO and Atan who went to Kororo.
Well, I'll certainly come back to you to analyze the second hour.
Yes.
Is the haggardness of the president a big issue for the country to focus on, like Semujju is raising it here?
Let me first respond to what Honorable Semujju says. The president is referring to Ankole only insofar as he was directly engaged from the early years and step by step. Since that year, he's mentioning 1967. What is now visible on the ground? I'm saying if leaders in other parts of the country were to do something similar, and the president has been on record taking people to see not just Ankole, but other parts of the country where there is a bit of positive difference.
Yeah, but Semujju debunks it as a lie.
Is it a lie? For example, I have traveled more than Honorable Semujju, and I have traveled also in the country here more than Honorable Semujju. I know for a fact that in that area of Acholi, for example, the area of Lango, if you flew on a helicopter, by helicopter, in 1990, in the whole of Acholi, probably you would see the late Otema Limadi's house. You would see the late, the man who was a permanent Secretary of Ministry of Education for a while. You would count either Mategura or Mabat houses in the whole of Acholi, if you flew there those days. Or if you just drove by the roadside, all the way from Kambdini to Gulu, which is by about 76 kilometers, you would hardly count more than 10 houses. No. So, go to Uganda today. Is there a part of Uganda, including hitherto feared Karamoja, is there a part of Uganda today where you say it is, you would be scared to invest in? You would say it is far, you can't live there. Why? Because of the incremental steps the administration of Yoweri Museveni has been able to create the ingredients for transformation. I can give you my own area of Tororo, or in particular, West Budama. I grew up there. My father was one of the longest serving Saza chiefs. You'd hardly count Mabat houses there. There were Mabat houses with mud. Today, go there, you'll find homesteads that are better, perhaps, than some of those in Nigeria. You'll find water, you'll find electricity, either the hydro or new technology of solar. Yes.
I want to take you to my question. Semujju spent quite a lot of time dwelling on the stage of the president.
Yeah. Of course, the president is 82. This is what he says himself, including today. You don't expect an 82-year-old man who has been working non-stop for the last 55 years by his admission, by the writings that are available. You don't expect him. Did you expect an 82-year-old man to walk, to read documents, to present like a 28-year-old? Obviously, no. There's a toll on the physical energy of the president. Is he useless? Absolutely not. In fact, he's exceptional. To have an 82-year-old man who can still stand and read and talk off the cuff
Can an 82-year-old awaken a sleeping nation?
Yes, it can. Maybe not physically, but if he's the one assembling the team, now it depends on the team he has assembled, because the president doesn't work alone. The team he has assembled, both the political side, including the opposition, because the president has structured Uganda's politics to have a robust opposition. Are they doing the job they're supposed to do to wake up the slumbering NRM people? Are they doing? Because when it is time when they're supposed to wake up slumbering NRM people, he's out. He's taking tea at the canteen instead of being in Kololo. Okay? The civil service, and I agree with the Honorable Semujju. Even when they are young, there's a sense in which I see inertia in the civil service, in the political service. And that's what the president is saying. Yes, at his old age, he's saying, I am tired of begging, pestering people to do the job they're supposed to do. Many of these ministries, people actually don't work. That thing of the Semujju said they have been passing money. I gave you my example. I said I did coffee. I had thought that those people in the Ministry of Agriculture would be happy that somebody of my level is doing. If you cannot serve somebody as known as Semujju, or as known as Opondo, for example, why should I trust that you are going to serve somebody who is small in the village?
So is the president likely to crack the whip this time? Unlike the usual where he says, this time I'm really serious.
Don't stand on the way of an old man. Because an old man now, he can crush you. And I hope he lives, but the president has been crashing. You know, over the years, how many people have been crushed who are marking time where the job is supposed to be done. He has done so. Now, it is, and that's why he's enlisting your support, that when he crashes Ofwono who doesn't do his job where he's deployed, let Ofwono not come and cry to you that, you see, he's crashing me because I'm a journalist. Then you support me because I'm a journalist like you. You have seen cases where people line up behind their tribesmen. When the president appoints them, they don't share their salary, their emolument with their tribe mates. But now when they are crushed, then you will find a turn. Everybody crying, why are you touching our Muteso? Now that's what the president is enlisting your support. That please let me crush these people, these nothing doers. This is what he's saying. Let me crush and help me crush these nothing doers.
As someone who has handled communication, before I move to Honorable Tan,
yes.
Do you subscribe to the school of thought that the president's speech was light on content and loaded on trivia?
No. If the same things we are dealing with haven't resolved, we should repeat. And I keep giving you, Njala, this example. Christianity and religion, which many of you follow, modern religion, which many of you follow, the scripture is the same. Why? Because human nature is such that they have even defied God. God who created them, you have defied. You still fornicate, you still do all sorts of things. You still want to reap where you haven't sown. What's wrong with the president saying poverty is, because what are the issues? The president saying we are failing to transform. Should we abandon that message simply because Njala is going to say you are repeating? Have your priests abandoned the Bible? They haven't. Have the sheikhs abandoned the Quran? No, they haven't.
What is bothering me with Ofwono, see, Africa is in trouble. I saw people who are educated like Ofwono,
yes,
winning Butafrika to the nomination center.
The choice,
the same way you're speaking.
The choice of whether, no, listen, the choice,
beer.
Yeah. The choice of whether,
people, younger people.
The choice of whether we want Museveni or want him to retire, first of all, rests with him, the person, the individual. Of course, there can come a time when NRM or Ugandans push him out. But first of all, the choice is his. Secondly, the second is his group, the NRM. Have they judged that he is incapable in our estimation?
Do they have an option?
They have an option. Would he kill them? If they said we don't want him, would he kill them? Would he kill all of them? Okay. No, he wouldn't. So you have, first of all, with the NRM and the Ugandans have made that choice. So we cannot blame the president. We have made that choice.
Honorable Atan, when you listen to the president's speech, of course, Honorable Semujju picked out the nitty-gritty about how the president looked, how casual he was dressed. But does he give a projection of a country that is now waking up into serious business?
Well, I'm a positivist and I want to give a benefit of doubt, but with reservations. Why? Because if I give a builder material to build a house from the foundation to the ring beam, and then I come to expect the builder to account, and the builder has not reached the ring beam, I have reason to be disturbed and worried. What this country and the people we represent wished, in my view, they should have heard from the head of state how far we have moved from the last time he addressed the country. After that State of the Nation address, I went to Mulago, casualty ward, and I was trying to get to a relative who was involved in a motorcycle accident. Then I walked through Cancer Institute, and I imagined those patients and the conditions in Mulago, casualty ward, then Cancer Institute, as they listened to the head of the state address on the State of the Nation. And then my mind reflects on a farmer in Teso, Karamoja, which two sub-regions constitute about 60% of the cattle corridor of this country, where there is no effort like it was being testified on the other part of the southwest of the Nile. And then I imagine the NRM supporter who is in Teso, Karamoja, where they don't see these testimonies from the head of the state vis-a-vis their sub-region. Teso sub-region, Karamoja, 60% of the cattle corridor, nothing like a breeding center. And today we had a proposal, a program laid out to have irrigation schemes. But in the 80s, in the 90s, Teso had irrigation schemes. The potential that covers this country, and we have to take juice from as far as Egypt. They are depending on the Nile. We are underutilizing the Nile. We are underutilizing the water. And today we hear the proposal of irrigation schemes in Ngora, in Serere, in Bukedea. And the question I'm asking myself, when did we realize we need this? And I'm hoping that the next State of Nation address, after a year, the president will account and say, yes, we said we were going to do the irrigation scheme in Ngora. This is how far we have gone. In Serere, this is how far we have gone. In Bukedea, this is how far we have gone. We have also transformed the cattle economy in Teso sub-region and Karamoja. In comparison to the other part of the country, this is what has changed.
The president went every mile to show you how successful, for instance, PDM has been. The testimonies of people, the videos. Isn't that something that is plausible?
Well, I am privy to some reasonable information with regards to some of these testimonies. I remember one time the president was going to Kumi under the NADS program, and in Teso there is a tendency to leave goats to move. The technical people and security people collected goats around Kumi and took them to somebody's home, and the president went and saw a successful farmer. I am privy to even one of the testimonies today in Sironko. This person is a money lender. The security can do background check from Sironko. Is a money lender who is making money from exorbitant high interest lending, and it is being propagated as a success story of farming. Now, when you prop up that person, and the poor farmers in Bugisu and Sironko in particular know what they are going through, and this is the success story, it beats the success story being popped up. You really have to do. And I want security and the president's team to do background check after the things have been covered. Go back and do background check. For instance,
you want
in
to
Teso,
say the president was duped with those videos?
I have given you testimony during NADS. I am sharing information that can be cross-checked. And I am also sharing, for instance, in Teso, one of the successful farmers in Serere who was visited, this person had started long ago. And it is not PDM. And I'll implore the president to look beyond the PDM and look at how we transform agriculture the Kenya way. Government cannot be a money lending agency, yet we are not giving farmers farm inputs and subsidizing the cost of production. If we are not giving quality seeds, we are not giving farmers implements. For instance, there is a crisis where farmers want to open agriculture fields, tractors are not there. The tractor schemes at the sub-counties, where are they? Farmers are competing with the full oxens to open their farms. They are opening late. They are depending on rainfall, surrounded by water bodies. Now, in Kenya, at the end of the day, the subsidy and fertilizers, the quality of the seeds, the quality of the pesticides in Uganda, go to downtown here. You are buying things that are substandard. And UNBS is like not there. Today he testified about the USAID coming to support the killing of tsetse flies. But look at the pesticides we're having as a country vis-a-vis how people are losing valuable resources because of poor inputs, and we can't run away. I have heard the Minister of Agriculture saying CDOs and the extension workers are going to be held. Let's ask the question, what budget are we providing to local governments for the extension workers, and what kind of system is supporting health service providers?
Thank you. We're going to take a very short break, but Honorable Mwiru, do you wish the president had touched on certain things that he skipped? Which things particularly? I'll give you a couple of minutes before we take a break.
Okay. Well, of course, of course, we expected the president to talk about the human rights situation in the country. That we expected. Then also, too, we had just had a general election where the country had purchased the VVK machines, which were supposed to be used for the general elections. We did not see him, actually, in a subtle way. He avoided speaking about it, and the billions are gone. We expected him to speak about that. But even then, the agriculture he tried, but one would wonder the source of his information. Districts have technical officers. Like in Tororo, we have the district production officers. Their duty is to have information on the production in the district. But these things he's speaking on, and there's even projects where he had put, I expect to talk about the Sorot fruit factory, where we put a lot of money, and when the parliamentary committee visited, they found the owners making juice out of these chemicals, adhesives. And then, but this was Sorot fruit factory. People expected them making juice from the fruits from Sorot. That was not taking place. I expected him to showcase for attack where we have passed billions and billions to show how, instead of concentrating on 1 million, someone of 1 million, it made him to be talking about like the Professor Muranga's thing where we have given over $1 trillion. To show that this is what we have invested, this is the return on investment, because there must have been feasibility study on that. We did not see. We expected him to showcase the Magola thing where we have been funding. He has been concentrating on the small things like it goes to Busoga. Of course, when some, like the gentleman of the mango, we didn't see the mangoes. You understand? I don't know whether you also watched that. The products we were talking about, you would see that those gardens had no fertilizers, they had no irrigation mechanism under them, and virtually they were doing very, very badly. When he jumped on, for instance, Dr. Basangwa from Busoga, I started on a 50 by 100, I got to 1 million, now I'm making 600 million per month. For an artist would be all these ministers, all these people who want to be appointed, and this is when they were ministers. The question, if the model works, why don't they jump for that? So we expected to talk about the seed banks. If you go to Kenya, there are seed banks. We actually, even of recent, we saw the government recalling pesticides, which had been used over a period of time. So we expected the president.
Is that a bad thing?
We expected the president to emphasize the critical areas. We didn't see him going there.
Well, we'll take a very short break, and when we return, still we'll be looking at what was missed and what was captured. We'll be back.
Frontline. In a digital world, not everything is what it seems. False stories today spread faster than truth, leaving us all wondering what's real. Disinformation misleads, misinformation misguides, and spreads confusion and fear. Dismiss, a campaign to help you think critically, question wisely, and verify thoroughly. Join us. Let's build a more informed Uganda, one truth at a time. Dismiss, inquire, verify, confirm. Together, let's fight fake news.
Hey travelers, are you a family gearing up for that big vacation, a hustler working abroad coming home, or your squad chasing sunsets and passport stamps? It's time you lock in. Say goodbye to long airport queues, shocking roaming bills, and the stress of hunting for local SIM cards, because now you can travel like a local. Stay connected in over 180 countries. Just scan, tap, and boom! Instant data the moment you reach your destination. Get your Rogue Travel eSIM today at travel.roguetelecom.co.ug. Contact us on 020-500-123.
Congo DRC. That's where I always go for work.
You work in Congo?
Yes, Lord.
Hallelujah. 51. I see something significant happening at 51. How old are you?
I am 51, Papa.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Now the significant thing happening is now.
Thank you,
and I don't want you to lose it.
Yes, Lord.
Watch The Power of Prophecy with Prophet Elvis Mbonye this Saturday, 6:30 p.m. on NBS TV, Uganda.
Across Uganda, the parish development model is paving the way for prosperity, helping families transform their lives through strategic farming practices, like the 4-acre model.
In our Chivaro of 1996, we said first acre, put coffee. Second acre, fruits. The third acre, you put pasture for dairy cows. The fourth acre, for food, cassava. The good thing is that now cassava is also becoming a very good cash product. but at least for food. Then, mind you, the backyard. You put poultry for eggs, you put piggery.
I'm in a 1 acre plot of land. In this 1 acre, Your Excellency, I practice this banana plantation. I also practice coffee. I also have dairy, Your Excellency. Every month, Your Excellency, I get 500,000 from these bunches.
The 7 activities we recommended, they have a big global demand.
We have 10,000 Nile tilapia fish and 10,000 African catfish. And when we sell our 10,000 tilapia, we get in one harvest 20 million shillings.
Fruits, especially capsule, which is cold, can do very high value crops like apples. And then finally, those who are near the wetlands, like the ones in the Bukit who are wasting the wetlands, they should do fish farming, not in the center of the swamp, but at the edge of the swamp.
From coffee farms to fish ponds, the 4-acre model is empowering Ugandans to transform their lives. The parish development model is your pathway to wealth creation. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Breaking now. Now Post delivers Uganda's fastest, accurate news as it happens. From hard-hitting headlines to exclusive interviews, we bring details of stories everyone is talking about. Accurate, fast, and balanced. Get every update at nowpost.co.ug. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and never miss a moment. The Now Post. Accurate news, fast. June is Budget Month, a defining moment for Uganda's economy. Under the theme, Full Monetization of Uganda's Economy, the 2026. Frontline.
Welcome back. It's the Frontline. As we digest the President's State of the Nation address, the President touched on a number of key points. Honorable Semujju chose to analyze so much the first hour. But in the second hour, the President spoke firmly on corruption, promising to crack the whip on corruption and lavish spending. Can he walk the talk? Or did he sound...
I have said, at the risk of repeating myself, the official corruption he will not fight because he's also involved. Look at the budget and look at the budget items. In this budget that they're going to read next week, you have 196 billion shilling for donation, an item, donation.
State House or?
No, the item aggregated. I think Parliament has about 24 billion for donation. He has 130 billion for donation. You don't have money for Curriculum Development Center, 6 billion.
Interns.
You don't have the interns, no money. You don't have money for UNEB to train teachers who are going to mark the new syllabus, 8 billion. But you have an item called the donation, and he has one, and he does that every day. Even the MPs, the Ofwonos, who are about to access a huge payment.
Why don't you say you who has access to the last 15 years?
I am telling you because I have evidence that I have accessed it. So you're just about to access. So I'm speaking from experience. He starts by lining them up. Jaribu, you guys, where you have come, there is free money. Jaribu is here for you. So they start in
the starter.
Yes, the starter. 100 for everybody. And he says now he's going to fight corruption at Parliament with everybody. So there are items.
Yeah, but he's already demonstrated. He's already demonstrated this. The recent storm.
I have told you the official corruption, you can't deal with it. You have money, I've told you, donation. He was speaking about people who take allowances and they don't go. You have 1 trillion shilling in the budget for inland travel. People who are going to check on their cows in the weekend, taking government vehicles with the fuel and everything. Why don't you do like Rwanda? Put those policemen and soldiers on the Mbarara Road, checking everybody and where they are taking government vehicles. In the past, people used to park government vehicles at 5. If you're going to do anything beyond 5, I remember when Dr. Kure Parker was chair, park. One time, there's a driver and his boss who had trouble because they had an accident after 5. Where were you taking government car? At 7. So the inland travel, you have 1 trillion. You have money for special meals and drinks, about 300 billion. You have workshops and seminars, 316 billion. The total of all that money is about 8 trillion. I was reading the NDP4, National Development Plan, National Planning Authority is saying it will be very difficult to implement the NDP4 because we are still spending about 70% on public administration. You have salaries and wages that they are going to take 10 trillion and 8 trillion helping people, 33 trillion paying debts. So what it means for you to run the country is little because you have officially shared money. The other day I looked at 2 programs when we were handling the budget. Compensation, ranchers. And I saw all government people and former government people, Honorable Sam Kutesa, 39 billion compensation for rancher, Bijirimana, everybody. So all these programs, when they tell you there is money in agriculture, money for this, you actually think the money is there. They're just sharing it, these NRM people. But once it is Museveni who has authorized you to share the money, then there is no problem. So the bad manners of those who are stealing, those ones you can arrest because he has not authorized them. But the trouble begins with the budget. And I saw people saying, reduce the budget of parliament. Even if you reduce the budget of parliament and you don't reduce, because the good thing with the finance, they are going to aggregate for you money you're going to spend on each and every item. Usually at the end, the last part of the budget. Money for seminar. This time I even saw money for firewood and the charcoal, 17 billion. And I said, Opondo, what are you going to be burning next financial year? 17 billion of charcoal. Won't you finish all the forests in Uganda?
No. It depends on where the 17 billion is. Supposing what I know, for example, government district hospitals, I'm sure they use wood fuel. Many of the schools of government use wood fuel.
The schools don't have their money in the national budget.
No. I don't know, because you're the one who saw. I don't know the firewood you are referring, because they must be indicating which entity budgeted for what.
17 billion?
Yes.
Sounds ridiculous.
Charcoal.
Yes, but for the whole country.
You see, I've told you budgets of those that they are going to be buying charcoal at a parish level for municipality. Which charcoal and
we once budgeted for stones to buy stones to chase.
Mindset change.
You see, so you are cherry picking. So it's very difficult.
No, I am illustrating the trouble in the budget.
You pinpoint. I agree with you.
Yes.
Certainly, the way we budget, we need surgical. We need rearranging what we want to spend on, and then we need to close the gaps where there is evident abuse, especially by big people. I agree with you. I've been a government person. Issues of vehicles, you remember you had brought that proposal, but the beneficiaries,
they stopped it.
Yes. In your own parliament you're talking about, if you have given a member of parliament,
not our now.
Yes, no, ours now. Ours now.
Your parliament.
Yes, if you have given a member of parliament 300 million to buy a car, and you have appointed them a minister, or you have appointed them
including ex-officials
on a commission. Why would you give an ex-official a minister? Ex-official means a minister, somebody who is appointed a minister and is not elected MP. Why would you give them money for they want for members, elected members of parliament, and simultaneously you are giving them a government car. Because they don't have a constituency service.
So these are gaps.
Yes, yes, those are gaps. I can appreciate elected member of parliament who is made a minister because they have a constituency to service. That one should get the parliamentary. But an ex-official who has no constituency, what should they get? And I hope my young brother both, because of both I said he wants to trim. This is what he promised us in Corona.
Ofwono.
I hope he can succeed.
He can do. Let me tell you.
No.
Let me tell you.
You know, a new office.
Let me tell you. They went to ask for 105. They came back with 200. That's your 7.
Yeah. Yours also, because it's your president. You both come from Chazanga side.
But also the constitution is clear. The budget is his.
Yes.
Article 155.
Atan, there are small achievements that government intervention is making. And the focus of the last 20 years or so has been on small people, the ones who are not earning at all. So I think we need to recognize those who are making modest accomplishments.
True.
And where this 1 million is useful. And I agree with you, we don't supervise them well, and that's why the president is saying, you MPs, go to your parish, go to ask the parish chief to show you, out of the 100 people have got 100 million. How many of them have made some progress? What else do we need to do for them to consolidate the progress and expand? So I think that's a legitimate concern.
But like Honorable Mwiru was saying, is the president trying to offload responsibility?
No. He's saying this responsibility belongs to all of us. We had many people have abdicated. Now, and what Atan is saying, yes, in some cases, we have noticed areas where the president is being duped. And I mean, look at the several appointments, not just ministers and others. We have had cases where the president is given names of people who are not eligible. And because people probably know that the president is too busy, anything will pass. So the people who are working around the president, I have been among them, we need to do better tight gatekeeping. So that why should the president, personally, when the president is going to places, they approach people already in the middle class. You are the one who has goats, and they say, allow us put our kipande of nads. You are paid some little money. Yeah. So we have crooks in the system. Yeah. We have crooks in the system, in the government system, in the NRM system. And we need ourselves to flash bright torch, bright light on them, so that they don't take advantage of the president.
Well, as we get out of here, we are now switching to Afro Mobile. I need to tell our viewers that we've switched. Honorable Mwiru, as the opposition, where will you start from? The address that is made.
Well, actually, as he was speaking, we are mandated to make a response. And we are keenly following, and our technical team, we have started to analyze, and we shall make a comprehensive response. But of course, we have also analyzed it. It's the president with the mandate to make a state of nation. So you respond to his speech. You don't make your own. We show the gaps, what you ought to have addressed.
Do you think his speech is a far cry from the real state of the nation?
Well, you see, the president at times can be diversionary, as Honorable Semujju was saying, that when he comes to speak, he knows the message he wants to communicate. And like to me, I told you, I saw two things out of it. One, he was emphasizing that he has created an enabling environment for everybody to thrive. And two, that actually he's tired. That's what forced him even to mention his age. That please also now carry on. Before it was about him. Maybe I started to realize that even Opondo has a role to play. All other leaders have a role to play. Before it was undertaking. you understand, and carrying the Rubengo. But that approach now, saying that now, I think all leaders need to be involved. If you look at the budget, all the budget has been skewed towards him. By the way, what also you remember in the 9th Parliament, classified was 300 billion. They brought a budget, that's when they increased the salaries now, the emoluments of MPs. When we said, no, this cannot happen, he used that as a bait. But even when he took it to 600, because he said he was sorting out Amama Babas during that time, the budget didn't go back.
Amama was in the budget?
No, yes, it was in the budget, because he needed the money to go and sort out. You see, and when the cash fund was inflated, after sorting out now, it didn't go back. You understand? So the issue which we need to be addressed, to me, as Honorable Semujju said, is the budget corruption. Good enough. I've listened to Honorable O.O. in most of the things, other than what he talks on, like on the TV, is very objective. And I'm glad we're going to be with him. I'm going to be supervising from the other side. And I want to say that I'll be relying on him in most of the things. Because I've seen him a little bit gumite on some of these things.
I hope you won't be disappointed. Gentlemen, we need to get out of here. Honorable Atan, what a pleasure hosting you tonight.
Thank you for this maiden opportunity.
Atan hasn't shed tears. Atan can shed tears and
I used to feel
Honorable Mwiru, pleasure having you. And Honorable Semujju Nganda.
Atan can be very dramatic. He moves.